I would just like anybody to know that if you're considering podcasting and your excuse is, oh, I'm terrible at talking, I wouldn't know what to say, it is okay. You just go with whatever comes out of your mouth. This is the second take of this podcast episode because the last one, it just didn't work. You can always do it again. That is okay. We're just here to have fun and show off good yarny things. My hair is just being unruly today, so I'll probably be touching it a lot. I'm so sorry. But hello and welcome to another episode of the Let's Get Kraken podcast. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. If you are a new viewer, also welcome. Thank you so much for clicking the video and giving me a chance. I hope it's a good first impression. I'm Eden. I'm the owner of Kraken Made, where I sell my handmade treasures such as progress keepers, hand-dyed yarn, some opal yarn, and my own pattern designs. You can find me on Instagram as Crafting Kraken Made. You can also find me and my patterns on Lovecrafts and Payhip. And all the links to all of that stuff will be down below. Okay, so I do have some finished objects today. One of them is not mine, and I can't remember if one of these finished objects, if I did finish it the last podcast and I'm just re-showing it because of my bad memory, or it is a new thing, but I'm going to show it anyways. I probably should have checked the last podcast, but here we are filming. Just got some homemade iced tea with me today in this fancy little glass. I'm make-believing that it is summer, but it's not. It's been dreary and rainy here, so we got the iced tea. I even have my mohair shawl on today. I should probably say what I'm wearing first. This is the only knitting I have on at the moment. This is the 2019 Advent shawl by Molly Klatt of A Homespun House. I knit this last year for my wedding shawl. The main is Tofino Knit Co. on her Surf Singles base. Stormy Weather. It's just a very pretty gray, and then I used 4 different mohairs to create the blue gradient. I don't remember what they are. You'd have to see a past podcast episode for that, but I love this shawl. It's so cozy and fits wonderfully, so I'm glad I can still get use of my mohair stuff in June. That's nice. I always say that I'm not really a summer person, and I'm okay with that. I definitely prefer the fall and winter and spring. But every once in a while, it's nice to have that little bit of sunshine, right? Like, you need that little bit of a vitamin D. So, yeah. I hope you have a nice drink with you and a project with you to enjoy while I blabber. So let's just hop into finished objects. I'll start with mine. Bo the Turtle is now available. So that is this pattern. I had finished this guy last time. The original guy is crocheted out of Bramble Ridge in the colorway Kraken's Made, which was a colorway dyed specially for Kraken Made. He's so cute. He's a little floppy, but that's the point. So Bo the Turtle is a pattern that I designed as a cold pack. So if you burn yourself, you got a bump, bruise. Whenever you need a cold pack, this is a fantastic homemade cold pack because he's filled with dried beans, and it's a less intense cold than putting like a sandwich bag full of ice and water. Like, it's a little more subtle. It's great for kids and adults like me who burn themselves all the time. But Bow the Turtle. So a simple crocheted turtle out of fingering weight yarn. And I finished this one. This is crocheted out of my own hand-dyed yarn. This is Watercolor Promises. I think I have one sock set of this left in the shop. But these are amazing, and recently they got a lot of use because my little brothers went through just a flu, not COVID. It was just the flu that's been going around, and they had high fevers, and they were able to just have these little guys, put them on their wrists to bring their temperature down, or on their forehead just to feel better. So another great thing about these guys. So yeah, the pattern is available on my website, Lovecrafts and Pip. So yeah, that is awesome. New pattern out. I will definitely be doing more of those types of patterns because they're very handy. I used to have some as a kid. We called them Boo Boo Buddies, and I definitely recommend having them in your freezer. Okay, so next finished object, my mom knit these and wanted to show them off because she knit these as a sample for the Opal DK that I carry in the shop. This is in the colorway Shiny Ballroom, and she knit the Magic Heel Socks by the Autumn Acorn. So instead of like a short row heel or a heel flap and gusset, you do some ribbing where your heel would be. We can try one on and show you. And this is a great pattern for if you don't really know someone's shoe size, you can kind of guess and put the heel in the general area. Me and my mom have different sized feet, so she may have knit them for her feet, but they also fit mine. I have bigger feet than than her, so look at that. And I have a very high instep, and if you have a high instep, you do find with hand knit socks that sometimes right there can be super tight. I don't find that with these socks. Showing off the sock. Strike a pose. Sorry. But anyway. Yeah, so the Magic Heel Socks with Opal DK. It is a fantastic ball of yarn. The Opal DK is a 75/25 virgin wool and nylon, so it's a great sock yarn. And also you get 150 grams in a ball, so you have no worries about running out of yarn. So she was able to knit some pretty cool socks. And the great thing about this pattern with the stripes of this yarn is that you don't lose the effect with the heel. So you got nice, neat little stripes. So that is awesome. So yeah, you can find this yarn in the shop right now. Okay, so that is finished objects. Let's move into works in progress. I have 4 main works in progress right now. I kept saying this, like, oh, I don't feel like casting anything on and working down on my projects, and then all of a sudden there was just this whim and I cast on a couple things. Well, 3 things. Yeah, I think I have 3 new things since the last podcast. But They all have a story behind them. They all, I don't know, every project is important, but I feel like sometimes you need an excuse behind some of your projects. That's okay. Let's start with the most progress here, and one you've seen before. So I am knitting, whoops, highlighter lost its lid. Goodness, don't do that. So I am knitting the Halibut Sweater by Caitlin Hunter, and this is just an amazing sweater all in all. I've gone halibut fishing, and I love eating halibut, so good. I'm using the needles called for this sweater, and I'm going to need bigger cords soon. But I've been working pretty hard on this. It is a slow but steady process. I'm a very slow color work knitter, but you can see little fins starting. Yeah. So I'm knitting this out of Tofino Knit Co. My main color is on her Lighthouse DK Tweed, and this is My Soul Does Magnify the Lord, and this was a part of her Nativity Advent Calendar, and my mom had it, and we know Holly pretty well, of Tofino Knit Co. And so when I saw these colors, I was like, hey, can I have a sweater quantity of this? And so it's a very specially dyed thing. So my main is this one, and this is Joseph Dreaming. It's a gorgeous deep navy, also on her Lighthouse DK Tweed. So yeah, this is how much I've gotten so far. Again, I am the slowest color work knitter ever, probably. But that's okay, I just take it one row at a time. Yeah, that's all I have to say about this sweater. This one, I hope to at least split for sleeves by the time next podcast comes around. And I'm just keeping it in my Cozy Up bag. There is, whoop, there we go. JoJo bag. This is great, it's a great sweater bag. I don't think she does this style anymore, but she does do great bags still. Okay, let's move into the next one. This one is a new cast on, but I have been working on it a lot, so it's pretty close to done already. Sitting in a bag that my friend made me. Alright, so whoop. I am knitting a little baby dress. Here we are. I really wanted to knit something out of this colorway. This is my own hand-dyed yarn, the colorway Octoflage, and it just, I love this yellow. It is a speckled yarn with some like yellow, a little bit of brown. It's a really happy colorway, and I just enjoy this so much. This is like 99% the first skein. I had to do a little bit for the end of the dress, so it's a 2 skein project, 2 skeins of DK. And so it was really cool to see how this yarn was intense speckling, and then it kind of just faded out. The front is more faded than the back is, but that's so cool to see. So I finished the main part, and then I've just picked up to start the sleeves. I should say what this pattern is before I get in all detailed. The designer's name, she's from Portugal, and therefore I did a little bit of Portuguese in school. It didn't go well. So I'm just going to show you the name, but I am going to link it below. I don't have this pattern printed off because it is a very big pattern. Because I bought the bundle of the romper and the dress. So this is a Sunday morning baby dress. There's your name right there. Yeah. I will link her below and the pattern, so you can just click that. It's the easiest way to do it. So this is a Sunday morning baby dress. And once this is done and blocked and I've got some pictures of it, I will be sending this as a gift to somebody who is having a baby girl. So it's really fun to work up my own hand-dyed yarn and see how it works, and also be able to give this away as a gift. So double fun. I'm using 3.25 millimeter needles for this project. That's a little bit smaller than what was called for. And yeah, I'll show you it in the skein. In the cake, it's a little funky right now. There it is. So yeah, this is my own hand-dyed yarn. I have 2 hanks of this left in the shop, so if you wanted to make one of these, there is enough yarn for that. And yeah, I will be doing the romper too. I think it's just so much fun. And I love knitting and crocheting baby things. I'm not a parent and won't be anytime soon, but there's something about baby things that it has the same amount of commitment as like a pair of socks or a very small cowl. Like you have a hank of fingering weight yarn, but you don't want to make socks. You can make a baby cardigan out of it, and it's something different and fun, and you can use those one skein projects. So that's why I love them so much. Alrighty, so that is project number 2. Sip of tea. I'm sorry for how many times I'm touching my hair. It's getting so long that it gets in the way more often. And which is okay. It's just I want to touch it all the time because it's in my peripheral vision more often now. I don't know if that happens if you see your hair, you touch it more often. I'm usually a shorter hair girl, but it's been growing out a lot lately. I eat a lot of peanut butter. Peanut butter is probably one of my favorite foods, and having those proteins helps hair grow faster. So, random fact. Okay, let's move on to next project. Is also a new cast on that I have been keeping in this bag that my mom sewed for me a while ago. I love this bag, and it's great for sweaters. So this one I am knitting. Hang on. This is the Spring Autumn Jacket by Rook Knit. It is a entirely, oh, this ring light drives me bananas. It is an entirely garter cardigan. It is knit entirely flat, so you start with the back and you work up, then you split the stitches and knit the front panels, and you pick up stitches and knit the sleeves, and then you just seam that all together, which is awesome. Why am I in the middle of a row? Hang on. I will finish this. Okay. Now, back on track. I don't know why I stopped in the middle. I must have had to go and do something. But here is my progress so far, just on a little back panel. Honestly, it looks kind of small to me, but it's garter. It has a huge amount of stretch, so when it's together, it's not like, it's not too bad. When I first cast it on, I was like, really? That's it? But I'm sure it's gonna fit great. I'm knitting a size large. I would have knit a size medium for my measurements, but my gauge is still a little bit tighter than hers. She has an extremely loose gauge, so I had to go up maybe 3 needle sizes, and I was still too small, and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna knit a size bigger, and it is okay if it's slightly oversized. That's the great thing about a cardigan. So here it is so far. It is super easy and mindless. I love that. This little progress keeper on here is just a little pumpkin turtle of mine, which will definitely come back when fall comes back around. I am knitting this out of a Finnish yarn that my mom bought this years and years ago from the company in Finland, and I really wanted to knit this cardigan out of this, and she and I planned to knit cardigans together with some of this yarn, but it never really happened, so that is okay. It is a gorgeous brown. Okay, but she did give me the Instagram. Oh, can you see right there? I'll link them below. Their website is all in Finnish, so you will have to Google translate it, but it is an amazing 100% real wool from Finnish sheep. It kind of feels like a DK, but the pattern calls for worsted, and I knew that once this is blocked, it's gonna bloom beautifully because it is a real natural wool. It's really toothy, but it's kind of funny how it's real wool and you can feel that, but it is crazy soft. You would have seen this cardigan started in my last ASMR video, and what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we were knitting in the rain to get that the good rain noises for the ASMR, and this did get a little wet, but it didn't like absorb anything. That is the great thing about wool, is that it's water resistant. It's not waterproof, but it's water resistant, and so it's gonna be an amazing cardigan to have for going to the beach. And just when I live on the west coast of Canada, on Vancouver Island, so it's damp here, like the air is just full of moisture, and so this will be a great way to keep out the cold and moisture in the air. So yeah, that is my spring and autumn jacket. I am generally drawn to wearing cardigans and jackets more, just because they're easy to take off when I'm too warm, and I can put them back on when I'm cold. It's easier than a pullover or a hoodie. But I haven't knit one or crocheted one. I don't know how that's not happened, but recently sweaters have been more appealing to me. I'm more open to commit to such a big project. So, yeah, that is that project. And last but certainly not least, I started a summer top for when it does get sunny. I started this for a knit along that I'm doing with Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn. It's not like a big one going on Instagram or anything. It's just one that we're all doing for fun. So back, it's gotta be 2019, 2020, maybe, I knit the Red Moon sweater by Born and Raised Knits. This lady right here, she is now a retired pattern designer. She went to become a teacher instead. But her patterns that she has are incredible. I love them so much. And when I knit my Red Moon sweater, this one was on the list to knit next, and I just forgot about it for a few years. And then when I was looking for a summer top to do for this knit along, I came across this and was like, that's it, that's what I want to make. And so it is like right up to the neck, and it's got some color work and a beautiful peplum bottom. So yeah, this is the Sonya Tee by Born and Raised Knits. It's featuring Wool and Boon yarns. And I've just got it in my labyrinth bag that I sewed myself a long time ago and spilled some coffee on. Here's the clean side. But yeah, I don't know what that laugh was. I'm sorry, that was weird. Anyway, here's what I've got so far. Now, the scary thing about this pattern so far is that she warns you to make sure that you are knitting extremely loosely, because this is supposed to be close to your neck. You have to knit loose enough that it will at least make it over your head. And I hope it does. I'm trying my hardest to make sure that it'll fit. And I've got a little progress keeper with Ludo on it from Ginger Snap. It's cute. Kind of match. It does match my bag. That was unintentional, but it just happened. I'm a huge Labyrinth fan, if you can't tell. Yeah, so I've just got the ribbing done. And then I've just begun the color work right there. The yarns I'm using, this is my contrast color. You start with your contrast. This is a yarn club that I got last year from Ruby and Roses. It was one of her art clubs. It's beautiful. And then my main color is a yarn that I've had for such a long time. I'm pretty sure you've seen this already in a different project at some point, but it seems to be that I use this yarn, and whatever project it is, I change my mind on it. I'm like, no, it's not quite right. And so it gets recaked and put away for another day, but this time it is going to be done. I'm going to use this yarn. This is Garnet from Midnight Cravings. They're both fingering weight, and there's 2 skeins in here, I'm pretty sure, but it's so pretty, and I just love how they contrast, but they match enough with the purple tones in them. So yeah, that is again a very slow color work nerder. I'm very slow color work knitter, so this is probably going to take me all summer, and by the time fall comes around, it'll be done. But I'm going to work my best on it and see where I can get. Maybe I could split for sleeves on this too by the time next podcast comes around. That's a big goal. Probably not going to happen, but we shoot for the moon. These are bigger needles for later. I am using the needles called for in this pattern, so I won't tell you because it's a paid for pattern. That sounds very snooty, but that's just part of podcasting. So you gotta, if you want to knit it, it'll tell you when you buy the pattern. So, why does it sound so mean? I didn't mean to be mean, I'm sorry. Anyway, that is all my works in progress and finished objects. I do have others, as you know, but those are the ones that I'm working on solidly when I sit down to knit. Those are the things that I go to. Mainly my Halibut Sweater lately, just because it's probably the thing I've gotten the most work on. I'm drawn to working even more on it. So that one will definitely be split for sleeves by the next podcast. That is going to be the main goal. Maybe I'll have the little baby dress done for the next podcast. That might be my finished object. Hopefully. But yeah, that is all that there is. I'm probably going to go off and go have some dinner. I'm sure you heard my mom call me a little while ago. We're having dinner together, and I think it's burgers. So yummy. Although that'll be past by the time you watch this podcast. But anyway, little tangent, little blabbering. Thank you so much for joining me. If you aren't subscribed and you enjoyed the podcast, please do subscribe. I upload podcasts every other week, and I do ASMR videos every other week now. So there's weekly videos. And thank you to so much to everybody who subscribed from the last videos and podcasts. It means so much to me. It is so hard to grow a channel on YouTube right now, and all your comments and your likes and your subscriptions help boost it just a little bit more. And I just want to get the podcast out there, go and have a little contact with other makers out there. And to do that, I need your help. So when you do that, you're helping me out, and thank you so much. It means a lot. Yeah. And so if you did like it, subscribe, like, and share even if you feel crazy. Okay, I'm gonna stop blabbering. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next time. Bye.